She's back, ladies and gentlemen. The big, beautiful blue, full-body painted 35S Jayco Precept here at HaylettRV of Coldwater, Michigan. Surprise smash favorite hit from last year, you know, back for another round in the 2018 camping season. If at any point you like what you see, you'd like to learn more, you can visit our HaylettRV website right in the video description if you're just on YouTube. And that'll take you through, show you exactly what we have in stock. And what we're asking, because the one that you're seeing here actually could be different from the one that we have in stock. Keep that in mind. So if you always want to see the most accurate information, you find that at HaylettRV.com. There's a lot to talk about. This is not going to be a short video. If you would like to just see what it looks like on the inside, take a little track bar down here at the bottom of the video and skip ahead a little bit to get inside. If you want to see what it looks like closed in transit, either hang out till the end of the video or again skip ahead till the end. Anytime I'm talking Jayco motorhomes, I do like to, well, Jayco period, I do like to talk about their best-in-class warranty. They have twice the industry standard protection at least on everything, with a full 2-year bumper to hitch. Well, actually on this would be bumper to bumper since it's not towable, no hitch. Although, there is a hitch on the back, so who knows. Anyway, I digress. You know, 2-year, 24,000 mile protection. You're never going to touch the 24,000 mile portion of that, but your Ford F53 chassis, that's got a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty. Your Ford Triton 6.8 liter V10 and the Torque Shift 6-speed transmission also each have their own 5-year, 60,000 mile protections on them. So this is something designed for long-term use and ownership. Compared to the last season's model, there aren't a lot of upgrades, but when you're doing something this right, you don't need to go changing it. They did make some critical improvements in specific areas, though. I think the most notable of those is the update to the J-Ride Plus ride and handling package that comes on all these Precepts. Suffice to say, it's a 5-part process that this goes through. It begins with a computerized balanced drive shaft, and what that does for you is it basically, as they stretch this chassis, each piece, there's 3 pieces to the drive shaft, they each get balanced, and then they get all computer balanced as a system together. That final step is something most brands don't undergo. The Bilstein shocks are a high-performance shock absorber that you often see on high-performance vehicles. You know, luxury cars, race cars, things like that. The idea behind it is that on longer trips, the first bump you encounter is absorbed equally as well as the last bump you encounter. Your ride and handling performance doesn't degrade over time. There's a few other components to J-Ride, but the ones I want to talk about are the stabilizer bars. The Precepts have had rear chassis anti-sway bars. And what that does is it obviously helps keep the tail from wiggling. It helps keep the tail from waggling the dog, so to speak. However, what they determined through some good engineering, and that's what I like about Jayco. They're always working to improve. That's one of the things I like about them here at HaylettRV. They're always improving. They found out that the rear stabilizers are great, but they were serving to control sway, not prevent it. So they added a really heavy-duty front stabilizer. And what's cool is anywhere that Jayco adds a stabilizer, they remove the Ford factory stabilizer and add one that is like 2/3 more stable. It's actually 50% thicker, which translates into 2/3 more stability. In English, this is the best riding, quietest riding, there we go, best handling Class A gas on the market, guys. Take the test ride. You know, take the Pepsi challenge, if you will. Proof's in the pudding. Now, again, this is generally how we like to bring in the 35S at our store with this just amazing, amazing full body paint package here. There's something about that blue. Blue says Jayco to me, and it always has. And I've got lots of different other brands of RVs here at Haylett's, but the blue and the Jayco just go hand in hand. They're peanut butter and jelly, you know. I'm skipping around. Let me start up front because I don't want to miss things. We've got the largest in-class front viewing windshield on the market. It's something like 120 inches from corner to corner. It actually comes out of Italy. It's the exact same windshield Jayco uses on the big Integra Coach diesel pushers. So they're using some pretty impressive stuff on a Class A gas, which is not something typically known for things like that. They also have a full one-piece nose cap that eliminates seams. Seams on the front nose cap are a perfect place to get leaks, you know, so they've eliminated potentials like that. That's the kind of stuff I like about these guys. They do what they can to eliminate any reasonable potential for failure. failure. Again, lots of good RVs, but there's a reason you find exclusively Jayco motorhomes at HaylettRV. We believe in these guys. We have power heated side mirrors with side view camera built in here standard. So when you turn on your turn blinker, it activates that camera right here, and you see that displayed on what you would expect to be your backup camera monitor inside. Now, if you look through the Precept lineup compared to a couple years ago, you'll notice there's a significantly higher like GVW on these things. A lot of that is because you see that we've got the bigger chassis in here. Case in point, you've gone up from 19-inch wheels, which you still find in the Jayco Alante, which is not as large and heavy demand of a coach as this, but you're going up to the 22.5-inch tires here on the bigger, heavier duty chassis. Now, storage is a crucial thing to talk about on any motorhome, on any RV period. But that's one of the things I like most about the Jayco Precept. They have 3 of these nice, big, deep pass-through storage bays here. Now, it's not a full, unobstructed pass-through because it is a Class A and it does have a drive shaft that goes through, or Class A gas, rather, not a diesel with a rear pusher. But with the bigger chassis, that created the extra space to get that storage here. Now, you have 2 of these big, full storage pockets right here, and right up next to it, we have our own-in 5500 generator. This is capable of running anything and everything you need it to. By the way, I'm glad that bounced out, because these are not slam latches, as people tend to call them. They're compression latches. You push them shut. Nice thing on these when you go to the full body paint is it's all painted. Even the sides of the slide outs get a full body paint. And that's the same paint they use on pretty much all the Jayco motorhomes. It's the brand name is called Sikkens. I believe it's Sikkens if you're curious. I know a lot of motorized folks like to Google up all kinds of fun details on these things. Basically, the stuff just bonds to anything. It works far better than paint suppliers they had been using in the past. Whether it's fiberglass, aluminum, your fiberglass one-piece roof up here, it all bonds. And they do wrap the paint around about 6 inches on top of the roof, so you get that nice, clean, consistent look to it. Obviously, you see the slide awnings on here, helping to protect your investment for long-term use and ownership. 5,000 pound tow rating on these, so if you're going to put a little chase vehicle behind them, this is the right coach to do that. Not every vehicle is flat towable. If you don't know what that means, please call us, because that is an entirely different video all in and of itself. There's a lot to discuss there. There's a lot of individual storage compartments. If you'd like to see some individual pictures of these, give our team a call. We'll jump right out with a camera and grab extra little details you need. This video, I have a lot to cover, so I can't go over every single nut, bolt, and widget, though I do want to take a minute to talk about the new Truma tankless water heater system that you see over here. Tankless water heater systems are finally becoming what I feel is good. You know, for years they weren't. This is one of the new Generation 3 models that is just simpler, easier to work with. You can mix the hot and cold water out of your taps just like you do at your house. It works like you expect it to. And as silly as that sounds, that's not how tankless water heaters have been for years. They didn't work how you expected them to. You had to go to a class to learn how to run just this thing, as if you didn't have a whole coach to worry about. You had to worry about every little individual component. They just made it simpler and smoother, and it's fantastic. Again, full details on that, give us a call, because there's a whole lot to learn there. All LEDs, inside out, every single side. Not uncommon in this price point, though I do want to point that out. Full outside entertainment. Again, very reminiscent of the old Integra coaches, you know, from Jayco. You've got, what I do like about this too is separate interior and exterior entertainment. Full separate inside-outside TVs, full separate entertainment options over here. They each do their own thing. So if you do need a dual zone thing going on, or maybe it's race day and you want to enjoy that out here, versus inside you want something separate playing, you can do that. Dual power entry step. Instead of a single, it just makes for easier come and go, obviously. That's pretty self-explanatory. Now, if you look up at your awning real close, you see it gets kind of shiny on that skin, that membrane wrap right there. The light's not cooperating with me much, but I think you get the idea. This is called a flex fabric guard. On the outside of the awning, there's an extra layer of stuff, basically, that rolls up on the awning. And what I like about it is 2 things. One, it squeezes the awning a little bit. So what that does is it helps keep water from blowing down the awning fabric tube going down the road, so you don't get a spotty, moldy awning. Not nearly as easily. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but you really got to work at it now. But secondly, it protects the awning from the brunt of the weather exposure, so it's going to be here to hold up for us. Now, I like to stand here for a couple reasons and point out a couple things. First, you've got this is an easy place to see that huge window in the entry door. And it lets in just a flood of light. It gives you better visibility of your campsite, and it gives you a better visibility of who's coming to see you. But I also like to point out the fact that you can't really see through it easily. You have to press your nose right up against the glass to really start to see through it. If you step back at all, you notice how you lose it completely. Just like all these side windows, they have an extremely heavy tint here. That's also helping keep the RV cooler, and it's also helping improve just your privacy in general. Now, when we step inside here, this is where you really start to see, I mean, obvious visual differences aside, this is really one of the main reasons you look at a Class A versus a Class C. When you get these nice front captain's chairs that spin around to face the living room, it expands the living room another couple feet and gives you additional seating that a Class C can't match. And that's really one of those differences here that I keyed into a long time ago at HaylettRV, is one of those, that focal point right there from a Class A to a Class C is very different. If you don't care about all this, you can save a lot of money and go to a Class C. If you want this nice, big, extra large feeling, open, expansive living experience, that's when you want to look at a Class A. Now, remember, this one in this video might be different from the one that we have in stock. We like to pair up that beautiful black, white, and blue exterior with the nice, very, very modern residential gray tones that you're seeing right here. Gray seems to be all the rage in residential right now, and we've really tied that into this one right here. But there's tan decors, there's other decors, there's different looks for this thing, essentially. Let's go ahead and start up front and work our way around. So we've got a full up-down power front shade right here for privacy when you get to your site. Or if you're just staying overnight at a parking lot somewhere and you don't want people peeking in that huge windshield I talked about, you don't want it to become a detriment when it comes to privacy, power up down shade. Now that could also work as like your sun visor going down the road. You can drop it, because it's right next to the driver, you drop it right down to kind of the level that you need. We've got the manual day-night shades on all remaining windows, inclusive here in the slide out, as well as these giant side windows in the cockpit. Talked about how the chairs swivel. I do want to point out though that in a Precept, you have dual 6-way power flex steel captain's chairs. And my friends, that is uncommon. I've seen a lot of RVs at HaylettRV here, and one of the things that I've noticed is usually the driver gets the 6-way power chair, which you expect, but usually the passenger has a somewhat clunky manual adjustment chair. We don't have that challenge here. Both are 6-way power adjustable. Up here on the little co-pilot station, if I squeeze past this table, you'll notice a couple nice things too. You've got this nice little pull-out desk area. If I pick up this shade, you can see that you've got your residential outlets down here, and a little, power outlet so that you can keep like phones or things charging going down the road. Now, on the other side of the captain's area, co-pilot seat as it were, you've got residential and USB plugs built together, so that right up here, any device, every device you could ever want, need, or use is all located in one spot. And, I mean, there's other outlet areas through the RV, but this gives you a simple, easy, convenient place to put everything. Of course, we've got our, touchscreen, music, GPS, navigation. That's one of these things people almost seem to expect nowadays, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. I do want to talk real quick about the full electronic leveling system here. So this does have a push-button auto leveler, which not a lot of coaches in a Class A gas have. Well, it's not that not a lot of them do, it's just that not all of them do. So I want to make sure I point that out. Now, this is an option that we put in here, the overhead power bunk. Anytime you see an overhead bunk, basically an overhead bed in the front cabin area of a Jayco motorhome, it is rated for 750 pounds. That's true whether it's a Class A or a Class C Red Hawk, Greyhawk, a Class A Alante, or Precept. Anytime you see the front overhead sleeper, 750 pound rated. That is best in classes. As far as I know, it actually might be best in the industry. I'll have to do some looking at that. I get kind of spoiled on our Jaycos here at Haylett's, and I don't have to do a lot of looking around on things because we've got something that's built like a truck. When you're ready, you've got a little, disactivation, activation here. Disactivation? Deactivation? I don't know. Let's activate it. You know, obviously it goes up, down real fast. Now there is a access ladder that comes with this, and you notice that right when it goes all the way down, that light kicks on, kind of like a refrigerator. So it gives you that overhead sleeping capacity, or even storage capacity of a Class C motorhome, but in the shell of a Class A, which is really interesting to me, because I've been doing this a long time at HaylettRV, guys, and something I've noticed is old motorhomes, old Class A motorhomes, used to have this mechanical drop-down overhead bed, and it was clunky and it didn't work well, but it was better than nothing. Well, it ended up working so poorly that it was phased out entirely. But now that we've got better technology, and we're willing to spend a little bit more money on things to get nice things, we're getting fun things like this included. Like I said, there's a lot to talk about. I can't cover everything, so let me kind of just move on from the cab area here. We have outfitted this with a dual power theater seat. These are power recline, which is just really slick. It's just really, what I like about that, there's nothing wrong with mechanical incline. It's nice to kick your feet up at the end of the day. But with power recline, you can sort of kick your feet up to that nice little sweet spot. You don't always want your feet all the way out. Sometimes you just want them to dangle a little bit and just get the pressure off, you know. Another neat thing, too, is this is your switch right here. You got your in and out, but you also have a pair of USB outlets on both sides of the sofa. And I think that's just so slick. You also have seat belts for these things. Anywhere that you see a seatbelt in a Jayco motorhome, they are rated for 10% more than the government requires them to be rated for. They overbuild this sucker with safety in mind. They are very safety conscious, kind of like they have extra taillights and Cyclops lights. They do more things for safety's sake on these. That's something that I like about the Jayco RVs that we have at Haylett's. Your cabinetry, you can see that it's double strutted on these nice hidden hinges. And when you close this up, this is one of the small glossing overs that they did on the interior decor compared to last year. They just sort of, and I can't even really put my finger on it really, they just cleaned it up. It's not that it looked bad ever before, it's just that there's something very sleek and streamlined and modern about this. Jayco's always been a very quiet company on their decors. They've never been very modern and edgy and aggressive. And this year, they've really flipped that whole paradigm upside down on its head. You know, they went with the modern residential colors, the modern residential cabinet stylings. You know, even like the bigger, nicer hardware here to get your hand on. They've gone the extra mile to really shine this thing up. Your dining table here. This is an easy up, easy down strut lifted table, so it doesn't have pedestals below it. And if you're noticing really close, you're seeing this is completely carpetless. This has an above floor power gear slide system, and what that means to you in English is it moves fast, it's reliable, it's completely carpetless, so this is easy cleaning. There's a separate cushion that goes down on top of the table if you turn this into a sleeper. You'll actually see that demonstrated in our photo tour via the link in the video description, provided we have it in stock, obviously. Now, as I pan around the other way real quick, I want to point out these beautiful tall 7-foot ceilings. As a taller person, I appreciate that because I can stand in the shower remarkably comfortably, and I just don't have a problem with headroom in here. We also, I do want to point out, have the soft touch noise canceling ceiling liner. That's one of the things that makes this the quietest riding, best handling Class A gas on the market. One of several, obviously. And dual centrally ducted air conditioners. You might be able to spy the one in the bedroom back there. So we are going to get some excellent airflow and air capacity in here. I don't care if you want to camp in Florida, Texas, wherever, or even just here in Michigan. This will take care of you. Huge overhead cabinet storage capacity, too. This is an area I see get neglected in a lot of motorized RVs, or even towables, very commonly. A lot of manufacturers will show you the nice big residential sized fridge. I do like that the Precept does kick it up to the full-on convection. That is sharp, but they also give you the big storage up here. Now, if you're looking for counter space, my friends, you are absolutely on the right track here. This is another one of those tiny things that they changed over from last year. Last year, the entire island kind of swung out. There's nothing wrong with it. They didn't do away with it because they had a problem. What they found is that they were actually limiting storage. By getting away from the full cabinet in that pull-out island countertop right there, that peninsula, they could go to larger drawers beneath. So now we're gaining extra storage space below because each of these drawers is now a little bit wider than it used to be. And every ounce counts. When it comes to storage, every ounce counts. And that's why I like this floor plan, because you can go through and you can open this up and you can see that this thing just does not quit. The storage keeps on going. Case in point, I'm still opening stuff up. It's not often I run out of things to talk about, but hey, it took enough time to open all the kitchen cabinets that I ran out of things to talk about. Close her all back up before I forget. Last thing you want to do is leave a drawer open and start closing slides, although the slide outs in this floor plan don't tend to crush any cabinet doors. I just do this more as a matter of habit. A little touch-up paint comes with these, by the way, for that full body paint, kind of like when you get a new car. Alright, so huge extra deep countertops. That's a lot of square foot of counter space, and I love that they sort of use the same solid surface trim around here so that you have a drip guard. God forbid you splash some water around here. You don't want it running toward the electronics, obviously. That's a power up-down TV, and when you're done with her, away she goes. And if you notice, these are Insignia TVs inside and outside. Pretty sharp stuff. The same kind of stuff you put in your house, basically. Huge 4-door gas electric 12 cubic foot fridge and freezer. I call this the traveler's friendly model. I'm not a big fan of the electric only fridges in a coach in this class. There are points where it definitely makes sense. I don't think this is one of them, so I think they made the right equipment choice here. Pardon me, a little froggy, a little Michigan allergy season. Bigger Max Air, Fantastic Fan, whatever brand you want to call it here in the kitchen as well. What that lets you do is when you are cooking up a storm, if you're generating heat over here, you can exhaust all that. Not to mention, this is just awesome for superior airflow, period. And I do like this. They could have just made this a normal pantry with swinging doors, and you wouldn't have thought twice about it. But by making the storage come to you, they made it 100% accessible far, far more easily. They made this vastly more simple than it could have been otherwise. I like anytime storage comes to you, so you don't have to go to the storage. It just makes life a lot easier. Now, this area right here, this huge middle storage array, this is one of the areas that a still photo can't really capture well. By the way, that's the big cushion that goes on top of the table while you're using that as a sleeper. But this has just a monster load of storage that is so easily overlooked. You don't tend to get extra storage like this in a lot of modern RV design. You talk to people who've had RVs for years, be it motorized or towable, and they almost all say the same thing. This doesn't have the storage of my old 19 whatever Coachman or whatever. Well, you don't have that here. And again, seeing so many RVs go through here at Haylett's, that's just something that I've kind of tuned into over the years. This is sort of something that got lost in the mix somewhere along the line. Washer dryer prepped right here. And if you don't want to put the washer dryer in it, no problem. Turn it in. It's just storage with adjustable shelving like you see. You can make this become and do anything you want. So there's no real downside to any of that. And yet another drawer on the bottom. Let me close these up. Another thing I like about hidden hinge cabinets is if this cabinet door kind of pops open in transit, you notice how it wants to close itself. It wants to pull itself shut. Of course, you have a privacy door back here so that you can close off your master bedroom. And one of the other advantages to this floor plan is it's one of the Class A gas models that gives us the access to a king bed, the nicer, wider bed. And what I like about it is they designed this floor plan with a king bed in mind. What I mean by that is they left room to be able to walk around the bed when a king option is put in place. A lot of models, when you put in a king bed, you sacrifice walk around space, and they include the handy little side stands for your CPAP machines. Bah, I bumped the power button. Overhead here, you see that we've got the very deep aggressive storage, and if I kind of pan down here, you can see how large that is. This is not just the illusion of cabinetry, that's full-on functional cabinet space back here. Now, as I pan around the other way, this is the third slide out of the coach, and this is just pure, unadulterated storage goodness right here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drawers plus a drop-down little box to put entertainment options with a hidden storage behind the TV. So 10 drawer-sized storage areas plus a his and hers symmetrical closet. If you're going to be in an RV for an extended period, or you just don't want to have to pack the thing every time you go in or out, this is the coach for you. We have found these models with the huge closets to be the most popular ones here at Haylett's, and for good reason. It gives you the ability to take everything you want with you and leave nothing behind. There's just not a lot of downside here. Now, if you bear with me a minute, I'm going to close up these slides. I'm going to get her all shut up so you can take a good look at it. I'd like to take this moment to invite you to, once again, review the link in the video description to take you through the HaylettRV website to see what we have. Oh my gosh, bathroom. I do that all the time on motorhomes. I skip past the bathroom all the time. So they've elevated the stool, as you see here, for easier setting. This is the same kitchen matching solid surface and recessed stainless that you find in the rest of the coach, which is nice. They didn't go cheaper in the bathroom. You know, they could have gone to T-mold here, and most people probably wouldn't have noticed the difference, but they didn't. Obviously, the shower head fell down, but this also makes it an easier way to see that it's not just the cheap white shower head you find in a lot of coaches. And, like I said, that 7-foot tall interior, I just can't say enough about the extra headroom that it gives me here. So, like I was saying, back to before I realized I forgot the bathroom. Take a minute to review our website, HaylettRV.com. There's a link in the video description. See what we have in stock. See what we're asking. We put all of our figures right out there. You do not have to call us and give us a social security number just to shop with HaylettRV. We don't need your blood type and an FBI profile for you to begin to be our customer. There's no big interrogation process here. Neat little thing on the bed slide as it comes in, something I thought was pretty cool, is you'll actually see the platform that goes under the feet. You see how the bed kind of dipped down right there? I don't know if we can see it with the bed spread on. There it goes. See how that dropped down right there? Well, by doing that, they made it so that the bed doesn't have to fold. And once I close this up, you notice you don't actually have to get the mattress out of the way. Now, it is squished down a little bit, but if you're going down the road at night and you just got to stop and get the sleep out of your eyes, you can do that in this model. It's not a folding mattress that stops you from doing that. And of course, finally, the main power gear slide system here. I like this one because it moves real fast. Gets us in, out, and done. So if you just want to open up your living space real quick at the destination, you can. Though obviously, you know, the point of any motorhome is that you retain full function of the coach in transit. And I guess that's really one of the things I've identified as being different in terms of motorized versus towable camping. If you can call this camping, that's being generous. This is RVing and borderline glamping right here. Is that with a motorhome, your adventure begins the moment you sit down and turn the key. With a towable RV, your adventure begins the moment you get leveled and unhooked at your destination. So I guess you get more camp time with a motorhome than a travel trailer, you know. And I'm a trailer person, but I see the allure and the lifestyle and the fun here. I get it. So if this looks like a good time to you guys, if you want to learn more, give us a call. God forbid we speak to a living, breathing human being. Visit the link in the video description again. See HaylettRV.com. And don't waste another day of camping. You know, we're transparent. We're easy to work with. Anything you expect us to come with is included. You know, propane, battery, all that stuff. We don't have hidden fees at HaylettRV. We just have good deals. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.